and welcome to Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick with the City of Hampton, and today we are going to learn about a fun new water sport called underwater hockey. My guests are Helene Soleille and Brandon Burr. Welcome.
Thank you.
I have never heard of this. And when I first thought of it, I'm like, well, you're in the shallow end with long sticks playing. But that's not how it works at all, is it?
No, it's not. Like a lot of people are kind of incorrect picture and thinking about all that. It's really underwater hockey sport. So you really start on the surface, then go down. You're really parallel with the bottom, and you push the puck with the tiny stick here. You push the puck, and you push, you flick, you curl, you give to your teammate, and when you cannot breathe anymore, you go up and you breathe with your snorkel and mask, and up and down, up and down.
So you do have a snorkel. That gives you a little bit of ability to breathe when you're partially under then.
It's more to kind of keep your face in the water to make sure that you still follow the game wherever it's going, and not like just breathing and then when you're ready to go back, oh, where's the game? So it's really just to kind of follow the game every time.
So how did you both become acquainted with this sport? I mean, what got you playing?
Well, we actually met in Denver. There's a national meet where all the clubs play. Roughly between 20 and 30 clubs will come out from all over the United States and sometimes internationally. And they'll come over and we'll all come together in Denver. And she was playing on a team, and I was playing on a team. And we sort of started talking, and a few years later, here we are.
And initially, I think like me, I was a synchronized swimmer, and so like synchro is amazing, but it's also you're old, really young. And so at 20 years old, I didn't have my teammate anymore and so on. And so a friend of mine told me, hey, you should try that. And I heard water, I heard different thing, and I was, oh yeah, let me try. So I tried. I have to be honest, the first practice, I hated it. It was so different compared to synchronized swimming.
Gosh. But some of the skills are the same. I mean, the breath
a lot. But then
cool.
Synchronized swimming, you have to be really parallel, not touching you. You have nothing except your nose thing. Mm-hmm. And in hockey, you have your gear here that we can mention later. But anyway, different things. And everybody wants one puck. So it's a lot of like people. And I was, oh, don't touch me. Yeah. But like I was, don't quit. It's easy not to like it when you don't know how to play. Just learn and keep doing. And 15 years later, I'm still there. So what about you?
I'm always looking for ways to stay in shape that don't have a lot of impact. So with running and with high aerobic activity, you're always messing up your knees or your shoulders or your wrist, and you're looking for another alternative for that. And swimming laps back and forth really
it's boring,
you know, and then they have different devices like music and so on and so forth, but after a while I can never keep track of how many laps I've actually done. And there's a great, Hampton Roads has great water pools, and we're surrounded by water, so it just makes sense that while you're there working out, looking at zero impact, you see this this club kind of beginning, and you check it out, and it becomes a family of people, and then before you know it, it kind of consumes you, and all you want to do is play, and all you want to do is be together. And I like to call it like Sharks and Minnows is a very popular game growing up with kids, where you all kind of go after each other, and this is the adult version of Sharks and Minnows.
It sounds like it is, it's serious breath control. Not just the exercise part. You really have to learn that to stay under long enough.
So there is different skills, and for sure it helps like if you can stay down a little bit, because if you're always breathing like you're not playing. However, breathing is not the only thing. I am good at breathing, but I lack a lot of other things, and so it's kind of the beauty of the game is that everybody can bring something, and if you're not too good at breathing, you need a minimum of everything. You also need like the previous swimmers are amazing because they take the puck and they just go and score. The kind of a little bit stronger guy are good because like if they are your opponents, you have to go around them, so it's taking more energy and so on. The tiny people are amazing because they can sneak in between players. So everything is important, and like everybody has a strength that it doesn't think about, but everybody has a strength, and it's not just about apnea. Like for sure, like yes, don't take me wrong, it's important because it's under the water, but like apnea, strength, some people are really good at playing with the puck, keeping it, saving it. So like there is different components about that.
So on ice, of course, the puck is very fast. But it's going to meet some resistance in the water, right? Like does it move? How?
So that we've developed new puck technology so that, and I don't know, Ellen, maybe you want to show her the puck and so you can see.
Oh, it is heavy. It is really heavy.
So we have these different guys. So that's the other great thing about our community is there's a lot of brain power, a lot of engineers, a lot of people come to play the sport. And so our hobbies become developing new types of sticks and new types of fins and new types of pucks. And this puck is like different iterations of generations of pucks, but as you can tell, the two sides that you would use are very smooth, whereas an ice puck has a lot of grip so that traction can really kind of stay on the ice.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it moves, it can slide, and you can also flick it, so it goes up. So depending, girls and guys, we don't flick the same way. My flick will be perhaps a little bit less than Brandon because as a guy is stronger. But I will say like, I mean, beginners, but perhaps it's gonna be like 5 feet for me and 7 or 8 for a guy, like depending. And then the bottom of the pool is really also determining how the puck is.
Right, that's right. Some of them aren't very smooth. There's a lot of grip. Yeah.
There is what we're calling sports courts, which are really like you barely touch the puck and it slides a lot. And then we are most of the time playing on concrete bottom pools. Like you need to push a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
So it depends.
So where did this sport begin? Why have I never heard of it? I'm sure it's my fault.
No. So 1950s in Europe, they were looking for a way for divers and swimmers to stay in shape in the winter months. It started with the term octopus. Octopus had a different kind of stick, a longer stick, and actually, like, this is an all-ages sport. That's what's really great about this. So we have people that play that are 15 years old, and we have people that are playing that are nearly 80 years old.
Wow.
And so it's really great. Some of the older players remember what it was like in the very beginning and how that's evolved.
Show us their different
And
sticks.
so they have the longer sticks and shorter sticks, and the rules have changed slightly since then. So
safety is really a concern now.
and the big thing for the viewers to hear is like it's supposed to be a non-impact, a non-contact sport. So if you're
Okay, that's hard in hockey.
right,
Hockey
so
is known for
juxtaposed
contact.
hockey, it's a little bit different when it comes to if you're colliding with the other player, that's a foul. And so we'll stop the game and then we'll set a line, almost like a line of scrimmage in football in the middle of the pool, and we'll start from there.
So how did the Hampton Roads chapter begin or get organized or stay organized?
That's good.
So several years ago, probably 2012, 2011, we had some players. We're a transit community. We have a lot of military that come in. We have a lot of players, people that come here for different vocations. And so there were several players that came from other clubs and noticed that we had not this wonderful, amazing recreational club that everybody in Hampton and Newport News should come play. Come and start the club, and the different community centers in Hampton and in Newport News have been very gracious to allow us to play. So we come together, and we have a core group of us have kept the club coming together and recruiting. And something that we were talking about before we started airing was we're always recruiting.
Right.
I think I've tried to recruit everybody in the entire room here to come
Well, I hear
play.
you've already got one of our camera people on your team, so there you go.
So we hope that all the viewers that see this will at least come check it out.
So how expensive of a sport is it?
So it's really not expensive, I will say. Like, you have to pay for the gear, but we lend all the gear for whoever wants to start, because we know that it's not a really famous sport, so people, like, nobody needs to pay in advance. We just lend all the materials, and when they are ready and hooked, then they can pay. So you have to pay fin, snorkel, and mask, and then the stick and glove, and then to practice, really same thing like at the beginning, for people to discover it's free, and then we're just like, we are renting the pool for sure.
I was going to say, you got to pay pool time.
Yeah, so we just share the thing, and it's like $6 an hour. So I think it's pretty reasonable.
Right.
And when you love hockey, then you can spend so much more with a new swimming suit, with the travel to your championships, like with different. It's really becoming, as Brandon was saying, a family. Even though we don't talk below the water and we cannot communicate at all during, I think perhaps we like even communicate better outside of the water, because finally we can talk. So it's really becoming like friends and community, and like all over the US, all over the world, and it's really cool. So like $6 to get access to that community, I think is pretty reasonable.
So how many people are in the local chapter? I know people come in and out, but
I think we will have perhaps 35, 40 people on our list. And the regular, we are currently, it's a good number, we are like 14, 20, and sometimes we also play with different clubs coming. But average, we are like between 12 and 14, which is amazing, because the game is 2 teams of 6.
okay,
So
that's what next question was going to be. Okay.
So as soon as we're a little bit more, if it's new people, we still include them in the game. If it's just regular, it's too many bodies in the water, so we sub. Like, we just rotate and we sub.
Well, it's got to be very tiring. So I think, subbing makes a lot of sense. Now, what if the pool is not, there are wonderful pools that are competition or warm-up pools that are all the same depth, but a lot of times you're going to face a slant and like community pools and stuff. How does that work?
So if the slope is not too big, it's good, and then we use the halftime to switch the team, because it's always easier to go down rather than to go up. So
and tougher to defend down that deep as well.
So we're gonna switch. If the slope is really high, like I'm pretty sure in the US it exists, and in France I know it does, it's also a really good exercise, because it helps you to kind of push more and want more and so on. But most of the time we switch teams, so that it's not unfair every time.
Fair advantage. Well, okay, you've talked people into it. This has been a great pitch. It sounds exciting. What do I do to get in contact with you all?
So meetup.com. Meetup is a big platform for people that are coming to the area, and they might be single or they might be in a couple, and they are looking for something. Father and son we have, retired, bored, those type of situations, and they're looking for something fun and unique that doesn't cost a lot, and they can stay in shape and they can kind of get a workout. Normally there's a social event afterwards. We'll all go to dinner together, or a Mexican restaurant sees us every time we come and knows our orders, and so on and so forth.
And so on Meetup, it's called Virginia Underwater Hockey.
Virginia Underwater Hockey.
And you can also check us out on Facebook. We're sort of older, so we don't have all the newest social medias out there. But Facebook, I think it's Hampton Roads Underwater Hockey.
And if you call, so the pools, they're going to tell you, oh yeah, they are playing and so on. Feel free. Like, we'll be more than happy to host everybody. Women, men, old, young, big, tiny, tall,
all shapes.
Short, whatever.
Show up with a pulse. That's our motto. And we'll take you.
That sounds really awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you for having us.
Hampton has made a big effort to support the community pools, and I know you've used some of those, building this gorgeous new aquaplex, which would be an awesome facility. So we really encourage people to learn to swim, because you're around the water. It's a safety thing, if nothing else. But it is a great form of exercise, too. As you say, it's much easier on the joints.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's not weather dependent.
No. And like indeed, when you're really hooked, like you can train by swimming, running, do some lifting, cycling, everything to kind of keep in shape and like enjoy it a little bit more, because for sure, like if you're more
But you guys are like top of the line serious. There's going to be people who this is their exercise. They're not running.
Exactly. We welcome everybody.
All people.
If people are coming just once a month, it's amazing already. They learn, they're talking about that. It's really like for everybody, whatever time and effort you want to do it, and you will still have fun.
Okay. Well, thank you both so much for coming by.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching. I hope you, like I, have learned quite a bit today. And maybe you're becoming somewhat interested in this sport. Thanks for watching.